Everyone, Phi Farley here, December 17th, getting a daily best bet out there. We got some hardwood action, of course, Monday Night Football, NBA action to break down. I got one pick, best bet of the day for you, which coming off a win on Saturday, then coming off a 3-2 day on Sunday. I thought we were going to have an undefeated day going into the afternoon. Both Patriots and Rams not covering, Rams losing outright. That was a surprise. But this year in the NFL, it's no surprise. Yesterday, though, a lot of unders. That was kind of interesting. The season has really shifted to a lot of unders, but more on that on the NFL side. So before I get into my pick, let me say thank you to subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Take a second, hit subscribe, hit the like button, and share if you'd like to, if you feel it's good content. So let's get into today's best bet. So breaking down the college basketball games, we got a couple good games, a couple top 25. Arizona State's in action tonight against Vandy. Good matchup. Florida State, not in a good matchup. They should be able to blow the walls off Southeast Missouri State. But the game I'm looking at is going to a little bit later game. We have Northern Colorado going to New Mexico State. So both these teams are going to be at the top of their respective divisions. We just have one division that's better than the other and one team that's better than the other. Northern Colorado, coming out of the Big Sky, is a good team. They'll probably end up second. I think Montana's going to end up winning that division. New Mexico State, I think, will be hands down the winner of the WAC. It's so funny to look at the WAC now. It's changed so much in the last 5 years. So New Mexico State, though, one of the remaining teams in the WAC, and they'll be definitely standing on top. So let's look at this matchup. Okay, so I was a little concerned about a letdown spot after Kansas for New Mexico State. They just played Kansas, they played them to the wire, and they lost by 3. They had a lead in the second half, and they ended up losing by 3 in a back and forth, very, very close game. However, that was on the 8th, so we've had 9 days, and we're playing back at home. I think those two things are going to wash out a little bit of this line for a letdown spot against Northern Colorado. Then let's look at just the strength of matchup here. So both teams have just 2 losses. New Mexico State's are to 2 very, very good teams. One I just mentioned, Kansas. The other one, St. Mary's, which is a easy. I can understand losing that game. They should lose that game all day. Meanwhile, Northern Colorado, they're I think they're a little bit overrated. When you look at their KenPom ranking, they're 1 point better than the average team. I think that's a little inflated for what they've produced throughout this season. They have faced 2 teams all season that are above average according to KP. Only 2. In those 2 games, they lost by 31, Texas Tech. They lost by 20 to San Diego. So here we have their 3rd team coming in. I don't know what would make me believe that they would produce better than they did against San Diego, losing by 20 in this game. That's what I think we're going to get. All the other games, including close wins, big wins, they're all against sub-average teams. In fact, a lot of them quite worse than some Incarnate Word. Denver is not a very good team. JW, I don't even know who that is, which they blew the socks off of. I am going to note this, though, when they do play inferior teams, they do pound them. They do have an obvious advantage, and they do like to run the score up. So that is good to note for future line reference purposes. But in this game, they're going to New Mexico State. New Mexico State has held their own. They've won the games they're supposed to win. They've won them quite well. One thing interesting, they've played these teams a couple times. They played New Mexico twice. They played UTEP twice, which is odd for scheduling purposes. But the way that's worked, I mean, they've beat a good New Mexico team by 4 and then again by 35. That's hard to win twice. They beat UTEP by, 27? And then again by another 4 at UTEP, showing they can not just win, but they can follow their win up after the other team adjusts. So I think we have a mismatch here. If we just took the KP number, this should be about a 12 to 12.5 point win for New Mexico State. However, I think we also have a missed calculation there by KP, which will work itself out as the season goes on. At this point, though, I'll lay the 8.5 with New Mexico State, with the Aggies. And again, if you haven't subscribed, do so, share the video, and like. All right, good luck, everyone. We'll see you again soon.